Welcome to the Gen I webcast. Today we're going to talk about the challenging imperatives in the year 2009. My name is Len Rust. I'm an industry analyst, a commentator, and also publisher of the Rust Report. Phil, welcome. And could you just start off with a brief overview of your background and following on from there, your views of the local marketplace?
Well, I've been in sales for about 25 years. The bias has been towards complexity as time has gone on. And I guess I was attracted to ICT some years ago when convergence really started to happen. And because what really appeals to me is the impact that we can make on companies. And so that, from a career point of view, was really important. So I spent about 9 years with BT Global Solutions. Some of that was in Europe, and some of it was also in the US. And in fact, my last role was running BT's Global Solutions business in the US. So I guess I've done something like about $4 billion worth of complex outsourcing business in that time.
Phil, can you please outline Gen I's conceptual approach to ICT decision makers and the key dynamics that are relevant to business today as you see them?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, Len, is about engagement. And I think the issue for us now is to really understand the business challenges that face our customers. And we've got to put technology in the context of those business challenges. And we've got to really look at the opportunities and the risks for those businesses in the future. And in most boardrooms today, those are quite complex issues. And technology can play a part in addressing some of those issues. And typically, the way we approach that is through what we term as the Gen I 9, which is preparing our sales guys to have that intelligent, incisive, thought leadership type debate with senior representatives in our customers. And typically those 9 boxes address some of the core issues today. So things like supply chain. Every business has one. And you can imagine how technology plays such an important part in the supply chain. The dynamics of risk today are absolutely fundamental. And whether that be market risk, operational risk, or more importantly these days, financial risk, every business faces those sorts of challenges. And then there's customer capital, that deep-seated issue for many businesses, which is, do you know what your customers are worth to you? Do you know how much it costs you to acquire them? And most importantly, what's the consequence of losing them? And again, technology plays a vital role in tracking those sorts of issues.
Yeah. The
brand experience, wherever that touch point is, whether it be a call center, whether it be a personal visit, whether it be advertising, defines the nature of that business going forward. So again, technology, particularly in the call center space, in making that experience as good as it can get, is really important. And these are the sorts of challenges that face our clients today. But also geographic expansion, whether it be from one town to the next, one state to the next, or indeed one country to the next, present huge challenges as well as opportunities. And again, technology can play an important part. So understanding where a business is trying to get to, vital. We've got innovation, and popular view is innovate or die. Now, what does that actually mean? We've seen a lot of disruptive innovation in industry, and you look at Google, you look at internet banking, you look at many of these things. Amazon is a good example, where traditional businesses have been completely disrupted. So you've either got market innovation and market disruption, or you've got operational innovation. But whichever it is, technology plays a vital role in providing the conduit to make those things happen. But it's no good having all of that unless you've got agility as a business. And agility is all around fast decision making, but good decision making. Having reliable management information at your disposal so you can make those good quality decisions efficiently. And of course, to make that efficiently, you've got to harness the intellectual capital in your business. And again, technology plays a vital role in making sure that the right people are doing the right things at the right time and have access to all the information that they need. But it wouldn't be complete without the 9th box, and the 9th box is about stakeholder or shareholder value. What is the city? What are the investors actually looking for that company to deliver? And again, using technology as an enabler to create opportunity and to fulfill promises to the market is a good way of looking at it. And of course, you can then convert what is perceived as a cost at the boardroom level very much into an asset.
What are some of the most pressing challenges that you see that companies are facing today?
I think that leveraging IT as an asset rather than a cost is the right thing to do. And I think a sensible evaluation of how IT is being used in the business and how it can be used more effectively. So some things like investing in utilization and harmonization of the infrastructure and looking at virtualization. Of course, virtualization is moving a lot of what were hard-based applications and hardware into a virtual environment. And cloud computing is becoming more and more of a concept that is becoming real, and that provides businesses with a real opportunity to leverage the assets of their network to gain competitive advantage. It
seems a lot of companies are not really on top of their assets at this point in time as to what have they actually got. I mean, is that sort of a key issue that people have to first of all do that major audit?
Yeah, and I think that's a big challenge for many businesses, particularly on merger and acquisition. There's often a talk about, you know, the benefits and how much cost you can take out of an organisation, and theoretically that's possible. But unless you've got a full audit, and many organisations, particularly transnational and international organisations, find it very difficult to do a proper audit. But that's part of what we do, and trying to get a total cost of ownership model together for, you know, what they have right now, and then look at a transformational plan that gets them to a different place, a better place, so they can do things quicker, more efficiently and more effectively, is absolutely high value that we add.
Outsourcing is on many people's agendas today, particularly end-to-end outsourcing. What do you see are the opportunities for that in that mid-market area?
If you look at the mid-market, we see that as a great opportunity because we think it's underserved. And we think some of the big players, good as they are, don't have the scale to be able to scale down to some of the smaller needs. And the problem with the niche players is that if you want something done that's very specific, they're absolutely ideal. Come in, please do this. And that's great. But that's not really where people want to be now, because what then tends to happen is that you get a jigsaw puzzle that doesn't fit together. And what we can provide is that better helicopter perspective that says, this is what we see as your business framework at the moment. And so what we can then do is to provide a technology roadmap that gets them to that end game, harmonizes what they have, integrates it properly, and makes sure that it all fits together and works together in an efficient way.
Can you comment on the trend to single sourcing and the decision frameworks that must be considered?
Cost is cost. And very often what tends to happen with organisations is that they drive it down a procurement route, which is a good, responsible thing to do, but there has to be business value there. And sometimes it's not just about cost. It's about the value that's created. It's about the intellectual capital, as I said earlier on, that's employed. It's about the skills in an organisation. And it's about the fact that if there is fat in the pricing, then there's more chance that the supplier will actually invest in the client than if it's a very, very threadbare deal where, you know, the supplier is always wondering where his next dollar of profit is going to come from. So I think that's really important. But also I think you've got to deal with a supplier who's got business vision, who understands your business, understands the challenges, because then you can put technology in the context of the business. So you've got the business drivers moving one way, and you've got the response, which is the technology that can help achieve it. But equally, you've got the other dynamic. In a good, successful organisation, you will have people bring in technology vision and then looking for competitive differentiation that might alter the way that the business thinks about its future. That's about partnership. That's about this symbiotic relationship, not just about, you know, can you do this for the lowest overall cost? And then I think the other thing is about flexibility, that the world is constantly changing, and if you tie yourself down to a contract that does not give you the opportunity to flex, then that's not good. That's not good. So you want to be working with an organisation who accepts that your needs change and will move with you. And I think that's really, really important, because at the end of the day, if you get all of those things in place, the one thing that comes through is trust. And trust is earned, and that is a win-win for both parties. Because if you've got that trusting relationship, you're on a journey together. And our business is all about outcomes. It's all about regular reviews with our clients, understanding where they want to go and are we meeting their expectations. So it's back to that flexibility thing, that if the circumstances change, we have to change with them.
What business outcomes do you see that executives should be considering in these tough times today?
What I'd really like to achieve is that they don't have to think about the technology at all, that they can focus on business outcomes for their business. And to do that, they have to have control. They have to know that there is predictability and control. But if they need it, there's great visibility of what is actually happening. And I think we've talked about before a dynamic technical environment which meets their needs. And I think that particularly at the moment, in these uncertain times, the agility which we touched on in terms of the Gen I9, for businesses to be able to respond to changing market conditions is critical. And that's one of the outcomes of technology. Technology should be able to meet those changing demands. And it's back to being an enabling influence. The last thing I want to hear from one of my clients is we can't take advantage of this market opportunity because the technology won't allow us to do it. You know, we've got to be alive to, you know, their business and provide the infrastructure to make that work for them. You know, we manage some of the most advanced technical environments anywhere in the world. And we've built up a tremendous amount of expertise in those areas. But the most important thing for us is the way that we intend to evolve that over time. Our people are very often involved with organizations, great organizations such as Microsoft and Cisco. Actually, before products get launched, they're part of a select group of people who input and test things. And it's that sort of level of innovation and thinking that allows us to get one step ahead of where the current market is. And to do that, we have to understand where technology can take our valued clients in the future.
And also where the clients are going as well. So living with them is an important part of all of that process. Phil, we've covered a lot of areas. Is there anything else you'd like to cover today?
Yeah, I think I'd just like to leave you with a thought, Len, that, you know, these things are great words, but the reality is when it's tested. And, you know, we want to drive that value to all of our clients. We have a great organisation. We've got great backing from Telecom New Zealand. They want us to succeed. They're determined that we succeed. We've got 1% market share. We've got everything to play for. And we're really, really going to have a great time.